I'm trying my best not to smack Herschel Walker, but it is a little hard for me not to do so. Keenan, I'm about to send you this video. See if you can go ahead and pull this video up, please. I want to, because it's some audio that I want to play. So Herschel Walker, of course, is running for the United States Senate in Georgia, and if he wins the primary, he'll be facing, of course, um, Senator Raphael Warnock, Pastor Raphael Warnock. Well, internal polling came out today showing Walker at 49-48. Conservative Eric Erickson said that if your internal polling showing you at 49-48, that ain't good for you in a state with Biden having 55% disapproval numbers. So, Ken, let me know if you can pull that up. But I got to show y'all because first of all, Herschel Walker is not the brightest bulb in a dark room. I mean, he ain't bright at all, y'all, at all. So he was doing a radio interview. He was doing a radio interview, y'all, where they were talking about the John Lewis Act. Okay. Now, prior to Congressman John Lewis passing away, he literally wrote the voting law. So Herschel Walker was asked about this law. And Keen, if you can go ahead and pull that up, I want y'all to hear what one of the dumbest people you've ever heard. If you think his son is dumb, you see exactly where his son got it from. Keenan, go ahead and play it.
Raphael Warnock doesn't talk about inflation. He doesn't talk about the price of gas. He doesn't talk about supply chain disruption or anything of that nature. But he brings up voting rights, the John Lewis voting rights bill. What do you say about Raphael Warnock trying to push this during this time to try to what I call federalize elections?
You know what's sad about that? To use the name of a great man to bring up something that is so bad, I think is terrible to do. Senator Lewis is one of the greatest senators that's ever been, and for African American, that was absolutely incredible. I think them to throw his name on a bill of the voting rights, I think is a shame. First of all, when you look at the bill, it just doesn't fit what John Lewis stood for, and I think they know that. And I think that is sad for them to do this to him. And let's go to the voting rights. People want to talk about voting. First of all, you want to get people to vote if they're legal to vote. You want to try to encourage people to vote. That's the most precious thing that you have. Not encourage, but encourage. And what I mean by that is you get things done now. Don't talk about it after or talk about it during, but get it done right now. If no one is not legal to vote, why don't we go in and get the IDs, get everything done right now instead of waiting until it's time to vote and start talking about it? We shouldn't. And, and I think that's what people got to remember.
I just want y'all to hear for yourself, because sometimes you just got to go ahead and let dumb be dumb. What he said here, Robert, was I don't really think the John Lewis Act is what John Lewis stood for.
Well, look, I've invited Herschel Walker on my radio show. I've invited the other Senate candidates. I've had Calvin King, who's running that Republican primary. I was on my show last week. Gary Black, who's the current agricultural secretary, who's going to be coming up in the new year. I hope Herschel will come on. But, Herschel down here is known as CTE patient zero. He's not all the way there. And I think the Republicans are making a grave mistake nominating, so if they try to nominate somebody like Herschel Walker. We've already given all the numbers and all the hermeneutics going into this election. This should be a landslide for Republicans. If you just put default Republican in there, they should win this seat going away versus Warnock, because it was an aberration year with Democrats taking both Warnock and Ossoff and Joe Biden winning the state of Georgia. So without Donald Trump on the ballot, without everything going on in 2020, Republicans should have a very good chance of winning. But when we have someone like Herschel Walker, who might be the nominee, you are talking about running an admitted woman beater, somebody who beat his former wife, who is a domestic violence attacker. and you're going to run him against a Baptist minister in the South? What is wrong with Republicans? You're going to take somebody who literally beat women for 20 years and does not live in the state of Georgia and run them against a Baptist minister. So I think that Republicans are going to have to rethink this. They should take another look at Calvin King, another look at Gary Black, that they want any chance of winning. But this is just another in a long line of gaffes that Herschel Walker has made and is going to make. And when your son is the best spokesperson for the campaign, complaining about gas prices and a $1,200 hoodie, I don't think a worse mistake can be made by Republicans than nominating somebody like Herschel Walker, who, I repeat, beats women, and they want to run him against a Baptist minister. You can't make a worse mistake than that in the state of Georgia.
Monique. You on mute?
I said he's just not a serious person.
Roland, let me tell you what you should do. And I know you can get this done. You should put together a 1 or 2 minute piece on all of Herschel Walker's gaffes and when he's, as well as when you can't understand it. I can't really understand it. I don't know what his language is. So he doesn't have to be bright, but he got to be able to communicate. And every time I've heard it, I can't put a string of English sentences together, or the King's English or the Queen's English. So I'm not sure what to think. I wish you had the video so I could hear it. But in any event, I don't know. I can't really take him very serious. Trump's backing him. I mean, he manifests the ignorance of a number, not all, a number of Republican supporters and voters in Georgia who like all that idiocy and all that stuff, that minstrel show, if you will. And so I guess you gotta cover it, but I think you're gonna have to slap him a few times before the general, as well as the primary, as well as the general. I think you're gonna have to slap.
But also, let's not forget.
Go ahead.
Yeah, let's not forget, though, the Republicans nominated and elected Tommy Tuberville in our neighboring state of Alabama to the United States Senate. So for Republicans, you do not have to be a PhD or well-spoken in order to be a United States Senator. You've got to be involved in SEC football. That's pretty much their main requirement to be a United States Senator down here. So I think we cannot write off somebody like Herschel, despite his history of domestic violence, his history of mental illness, his admissions that he has committed various violent acts and torture against women throughout the years. And they will run that against a Baptist minister and say, well, look, he ran that ball back in the 80s, and that's all that they require in order to elect you to Senate. So it's a very scary place that we're in America. And I would like to see these women's groups come out and stand up, because, Roland, you've mentioned often that when it comes to Black issues, there's always Black folks standing by ourselves. We need all these national women's organizations to come out and stand up against an admitted woman's beater. We need to have all those people down here marching and protesting and pouring money into the state to ensure that you do not have somebody who is admitted to domestic violence in the United States Senate, because how exactly can you stand up and say you really defend women if you're not going to fight back against someone like Herschel Walker, who beat women for the last 20 years?
Video in just one moment.
Betty is saving big holiday shopping at Amazon. So now she's free to become Bear Hug Betty. Settle in, kids. You'll be there a while. Ooh, where you going?
Time to be smart.
Roland Martin's doing this every day.
Oh, no punches!
Thank you, Roland Martin, for always giving voice to the issues.
Look for Roland Martin in the whirlwind, to quote Marcus Garvey again.
The video looks phenomenal, so I'm really excited to see it on my big screen.
Support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
See, this difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
I got to defer to the brilliance of Dr. Carr and to the brilliance of the Black Star Network.
I am rolling with Roland all the way.
Honored to be on a show that you own. A Black man owns the show.
Folks, Black Star Network is here.
I'm real revolutionary right now. Roland was amazing on that.
Hey, Black, I love y'all.
I can't commend you enough about this platform that you've created for us to be able to share who we are, what we're doing in the world, and the impact that we're having.
Let's be smart. Bring your eyeballs home.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared. You dig?